Good afternoon, friends. It's been a while. It's been some time since we submitted a fresh video, and I have missed you guys, and I know that many of you may have missed me. And I'm back, as you can see, with a new look. The beard. I'm not sure the beard was here the last time. I want us to resume again with a conversation between Omenana, between the religion Omenana and the religion Judaism. And the subjects both religions are going to engage with is what the English language calls funeral. I'll read from something I found. Levaya, Hebrew for funeral. Levaya, Levaya. From what I read, this is the Hebrew word for funeral. And the author went on to say that it means that Levaya is derived from the verb to escort. Jewish law obligates us to escort the body of the deceased all the way to the grave to honor the person being buried. This got me thinking. The Igbo expression for funeral is akwam ozu, ekwa ozu. In very simplest English, it means to mourn the dead. I'll repeat. The Igbo usage for all the activities that are included in the ceremony, if you want to use the word ceremony, I don't think ceremony is the right word. In what we call funeral, everything involved in it, everything done inside it, the Igbo usage for them all is the expression akwam ozu, to mourn the dead. This is the translation or the interpretation. The origins of the Igbo expression are to be found, or is to be found, the origin of the Igbo expression, or preferably not origin, because what Abraham the Hebrew expressed apparently was an existing expression. When Abraham lost Sarah, he went to the owners of the land he was living amongst. The Bible referred to them as the sons of Heth. My dear follower of this channel, go to the book of Genesis, read up the death of Sarah. Abraham went to the sons of Heth and he told them, "Sell to me a piece of land so that I will bury my dead out of my sight and mourn her." I will hark back now again. The Igbo word akwam ozu means to mourn. If you like, you can use wail, cry for the dead. That is where the Igbo, that is what exactly tells you why the Igbos think that the funeral should be called mourning the dead. Abraham, the figure that the Igbos descended from mourned the dead. One of my colleagues noted that my works are so strong because I like to draw comparisons all the time. At the contemporary time, at the present time, the culture that has had a very great influence on the Igbo people is one of the cultures of Nigeria, or one of the cultures in Nigeria. Igbos have borrowed a lot from this culture that I'm going to talk about now. It is the Yoruba culture because at least 30% of very vibrant and strong Igbos live in Lagos, which is a Yoruba city, and which is the headquarters, or which was the headquarters of Nigeria in former times. In Lagos, Yorubas and the Igbos mix freely in the churches, and the Igbos assimilate a lot of Yoruba traditions through the churches. I will draw a very sharp distinction now between what the Igbos thought of funeral and what the Yorubas thought about funeral. When the Yorubas say, when the Yoruba is deceased and they say this is a celebration of life, people generally assume, people don't generally think that the Yoruba is expressing a Yoruba worldview. But I understand what is happening because I am not only familiar with Yoruba culture, I'm familiar with the Greco-Roman culture, which runs a very close parallel to Yoruba culture, and which is the foundational culture of Christianity. If you understand Christian culture very well, understand Yoruba culture, understand Greco-Roman culture very well, you will gain great insight into Yoruba culture. Remember, to the Christians, Jesus' death was a cause for celebration, and the celebration starts on the Easter, because Jesus' death meant triumph for the Christians. It wasn't something to be exactly mourned. And this culture is what you find in the Yoruba tradition. In traditional Yoruba funerals, uniforms are made. The mourners wear fanciful uniforms and they distribute souvenirs at the end of the event. But in the traditional Igbo funeral, uniforms are not to be worn. What is to be worn is akwampe or akwojo. This means mourning clothes. It's usually black. In better times, it was black or ashy in color. Very different from the fanciful uniforms that the Yorubas put on that they call ashwebi. So, I have been able to distinguish, to differentiate how the Igbos view the funeral and how the Yorubas view the funeral. I will now double back again and conclude by drawing our attention back to how the Jews look at funeral and how the Igbos look at funeral. According to the Jews, their term for it is levaya, which they explain to mean to escort the body. Interestingly, the body of a dead Igbo is not to be left alone. The body of a dead Igbo is not to be left alone. But the Igbos captured the usage of the ancient Hebrews and deployed it to describing this event, this activity. And on this note, I pause, think seriously about it, and Let us continue to explore in order to learn. The learned person is the person that makes changes in the world. Shalom. Thank you. Dalo.